What's up, Buzz Pop fans? We're kicking things off with a bombshell. Glen Powell is not going to be the next James Bond. That's right, the star of Hitman and Twisters has shut down the rumors, and his reason is surprisingly simple, yet incredibly specific, and it all comes down to his roots. We're diving deep into why Powell feels a Texan shouldn't don the iconic tuxedo. But speaking of Bond, we're also breaking down the psychology behind why Daniel Craig might just be the greatest seven of all time. We're talking about the mere exposure effect and how it shapes our preferences, from movie franchises to your favorite fast food. Get ready to understand why familiarity breeds not just contempt, but sometimes pure adoration. Next up, the magic of Narnia is being reimagined. Greta Gerwig is officially on board to direct a new take on C.S. Lewis's beloved world, starting with The Magician's Nephew. And guess who's joining the cast? Emma Mackey, Daniel Craig, and the legendary Meryl Streep are all set to bring this classic story to life with Gerwig's unique vision. And finally, we're talking Oscars. Venice Film Festival chief Alberto Barbera is sharing his thoughts on why Daniel Craig's powerful performance in Queer was a shocking snub and deserved a nomination. Was it the performance of his career? We break down the Oscar buzz and the snubs that have everyone talking. Stick around for all the details, and make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell on. Glen Powell won't be James Bond, and here's why. Glen Powell, the charismatic star known for his roles in Hitman and the blockbuster Twisters, has officially closed the door on any speculation that he might be the next James Bond. In a recent interview, Powell stated definitively that he will not be taking on the iconic Seven mantle. His reasoning? He's from Texas, and he believes the role of the quintessential British spy should be played by an authentic Brit. Powell humorously noted he could play Jimmy Bond, perhaps alluding to the Americanized version of the character in a 1954 TV adaptation, but insists the real James Bond requires a native of the United Kingdom. This comes at a time when Amazon has taken complete creative control of the James Bond franchise, ushering in a new era for the long-running film series. As the search for a new actor heats up, fan speculation has been rampant, with names like Tom Holland and Idris Elba also being tossed around. While Powell's reasoning highlights a traditionalist view of the character, the history of Bond actors shows a diverse range of origins, including Scottish, Australian, Welsh, and Irish actors, proving that the definition of an authentic Bond has always been somewhat flexible. Fans and industry watchers are buzzing about Powell's candid response, with many respecting his commitment to authenticity. However, the debate continues. Should the actor's origin matter more than their performance? The upcoming Bond film is already generating massive interest, and Powell's decision leaves a significant casting question mark. Don't go anywhere, because the psychology behind Bond's enduring appeal is absolutely fascinating. And then, we'll reveal the star-studded cast of Greta Gerwig's Narnia reboot. Daniel Craig is the greatest Bond, and here's the science behind it. Ever wonder why Daniel Craig, despite initial backlash, became one of the most beloved James Bonds? Leif Stromness explains it all through the powerful lens of the mere exposure effect. This psychological phenomenon, identified by Robert Zajonc, suggests that the more we encounter something, the more we tend to like it. Think of it as our brains seeking comfort in familiarity, a survival instinct hardwired from our ancestors who learned to trust what they knew. The Bond franchise is a masterclass in this effect. Sean Connery's initial portrayal grew into the definitive Bond not just through acting, but through sheer repetition. Even Daniel Craig, who faced harsh criticism for not fitting the traditional Bond mold, being too short, too blonde, too rough, eventually won over audiences. His acceptance grew with each appearance, culminating in Skyfall's billion-dollar success. This pattern has repeated across Bond history, from Roger Moore to Pierce Brosnan, where initial skepticism transformed into preference through repeated exposure. This effect isn't just for spies, it's a marketing superpower. Brands like McDonald's and Coca-Cola thrive on ubiquity, making their products the comfortable default choice. Even Nike's Just Do It became iconic through relentless repetition. However, the effect has a crucial caveat. Initial negative reactions can be reinforced, not overcome, by more exposure. This is why brands like Jaguar face challenges with radical rebrands. While early sentiment might be negative, gradual, controlled exposure can shift perception, especially among younger demographics. But what happens when a beloved fantasy world gets a bold, new vision? Get ready for some major casting news that will blow you away. Greta Gerwig's Narnia reboot is officially underway with a huge cast. Get ready to journey back to Narnia, because director Greta Gerwig has officially kicked off production on her adaptation of The Magician's Nephew, the chronological prequel to C.S. Lewis's beloved series. Filming is already underway in London, with Seamus McGarvey behind the camera as director of photography. Gerwig, who signed a deal for at least 2 Narnia films with Netflix, is set to bring her unique blend of whimsical storytelling and grounded emotion to the magical world. This isn't just any reboot. Gerwig is promising a rock and roll reinvention, aiming to be bigger, bolder, and more vividly imagined than ever before. Notably, this adaptation starts with The Magician's Nephew, diving straight into the origin story of Narnia's creation through the eyes of Diggory and Polly, a departure from previous film adaptations. The ensemble cast is nothing short of spectacular, featuring Emma Mackey, Daniel Craig, and the incomparable Meryl Streep, all set to bring new life to these classic characters. The Narnia universe is buzzing with excitement over this ambitious project. Fans are eager to see how Gerwig will interpret Lewis's rich mythology, and the star power attached has only amplified the anticipation. The blend of Gerwig's directorial prowess with such a talented cast promises a fresh and captivating take on a story cherished by generations. And speaking of Daniel Craig, did you hear about the Oscar snub that has everyone talking? We're breaking down why one performance might have been his career best. Daniel Craig's queer performance, an Oscar snub that stunned critics. Venice Film Festival chief Alberto Barbera is speaking out about a major awards season oversight: Daniel Craig's powerful performance in Luca Guadagnino's film, Queer. Barbera, who accurately predicted some Oscar contenders last year, was convinced Craig would secure a Best Actor nomination for his role as a man battling addiction in Mexico. However, the nomination never materialized, leaving many, including Barbera, stunned. Barbera expressed his frustration, stating he's largely stopped making predictions because they often prove wrong, citing the Craig snub as a prime example. He highlighted that even seemingly guaranteed nominations can fall flat, emphasizing the volatility of the Oscar race. While Venice has a strong track record for premiering Oscar winners, Barbera now avoids framing it as a definitive launchpad, especially after this perceived injustice. The critical buzz around Craig's performance in Queer was immense, with many calling it a potential career highlight, showcasing his range beyond the iconic James Bond persona. The fact that such a lauded performance was overlooked has sparked considerable debate among fans and industry insiders about the nature of awards season and the subjective criteria that determine nominations. It's a stark reminder that even the most compelling performances can sometimes get lost in the shuffle. That's all the buzz for today, but stick around for a lightning recap of all our top stories. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. All right, BuzzPop fans, let's do a quick recap. Glen Powell isn't your next James Bond, and we've got the reasons why. Daniel Craig's Bond reign might be over, but the science of why we love him is fascinating. Greta Gerwig is bringing Narnia back with a star-studded cast, including Meryl Streep and Daniel Craig himself. And finally, a major Oscar snub for Daniel Craig's performance in Queer has everyone talking. If you loved this episode, smash that like button, subscribe for more awesome content, hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, drop a comment below telling us your thoughts, and follow us on all our socials. See you next time.